thing on?
So this happened. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary of the United States, well, he goes on Fox Business this week and he announces, while we are actively at war with Iran, that the U.S. is lifting sanctions on 140 million barrels of Iranian oil while we are at war with Iran. His framing was, quote, in essence, we will be using the Iranian barrels against Tehran. Really? This fucking administration, the incompetence, I swear to God. Now, this part is interesting. Here's a quote that I pulled up on treasury.gov, Scott Bessent's own press release from February 25th. Quote, Iran exploits financial systems to sell illicit oil, launder the proceeds, procure components for its nuclear conventional weapons programs, and supports its terrorist proxies, end quote. He wrote that. The State Department and this administration said it even cleaner. Quote, the revenue from the sale of this oil funds ballistic missiles, UAVs, nuclear proliferation, and Iran's terrorist proxies. So that is the official position of the United States government on what Iranian oil money does. And then we lifted the sanctions blocking its sale? This is where we are, folks. Now, Iran fires back. Their oil ministry comes out and says that we don't have any oil to sell anyway. And then they go further and say that Bessent's entire announcement was a, quote, psychological ploy. Their words, saying that the U.S. is the one manipulating market sentiment, that the U.S. invented the story to calm prices. Iran, a country sitting on the third largest proven oil reserves on the planet, 208 billion barrels, says, nah, we're tapped out. Oh, also, United States, you're full of shit and you're lying about it. So now we are in a public argument with a country that we are actively bombing about whether the oil we just unsanctioned even exists. That's the argument. What the actual fuck? But here's what this really is. We started a war with a country that controls the Strait of Hormuz, the choke point for 20% of the world's oil. And we apparently did not think it through. We didn't think very hard about what happens to gas prices when you do that. Prices for oil are over $100 a barrel this week, $4 a gallon at the pump, and climbing $6 here in Los Angeles. Goldman Sachs said that it could stay this way through 2027. So now we are authorizing the sale of their oil to fix the crisis that we created. Analysts quoted in NBC News, not a blog, NBC News used the phrase, quote, funding a war against itself to describe what America is doing right now. There is no plan here. There is no plan. We broke the Strait of Hormuz. We burned through strategic petroleum reserve. We unsanctioned Russian oil. And now we've greenlit Iranian crude sales to an enemy that we are currently bombing because we are out of moves and the price of gas has become a political problem. The man who said on the record that Iranian oil funds terrorism just greenlit the sale of said oil. You cannot make this up, but you can vote. Thanks for listening. If you are digging this content, please feel free to like, forward, favorite, comment. I think we're going to get through this, but it's going to take all of us. So go vote.